Guys, how's it going, y'all? Thank you for joining me.
Meeks, huh?
Ooh,
She's a pretty Christian girl. Anyways, I like to watch her channel about the Mandela effect. She has some pretty good stuff. She seems like a good Christian. I didn't want to say earlier about the reptilian people. I want to make it really clear. I really do believe they're born with the angelic part of the fallen angels, because they're crossbreeding the fallen angels with human beings. Now, the woman I dated, that I don't even know if she is one. All I know is I uploaded her video, and everyone got mad. The doctor tried to kill me. Military people tried to kill me. Everyone got mad. They got mad because they uploaded her video, and that told me something very scary. Because how would she have so much power? That she was definitely a government experiment. I think they date people all the time, and they marry people, and I believe that every time they're let out, they're being watched. It's almost like a beta test. They never come out on their own. They don't just walk around freely. They're under like a lot of protection and a lot of it's a program, and they let them out. And when you're dating one, you're being watched by like 15, 20 people at least. They're trying to see if you can tell that they're human, or that they're not fully human. They're human. Don't get me wrong. They're human, but they want to see if you can tell that they're not just human, because they're a crossbred. They're crossbred with the fallen angel. See, you and me are just. I hope we're just humans. We're just full-blooded humans. They're part human and part fallen angel, so they're humanoids. That's like if you were to mix a human with anything else, a fish, a dog, a cat, a plant, anything else. Now suddenly they're not full-blooded humans. See, but they look human. They had to perfect them that way. Of course, how else can they take us over and come into society and mingle with us and take us over? Their job is to break up the family. Their job is, when they're in the family, to have lots of kids so they can, have lots of children, have lots of hybrids. And if they're not having kids, breaking the husband's heart, or destroying the man, or the man destroying the woman, then they're out there breaking hearts and destroying families. But what I'm trying to say is, we don't want to make judgments just because they're unnatural. Yes, they're born out of manipulation. Yes, it's considered an abomination to God. Yes, but that doesn't mean that God, isn't is against them whatsoever. And let alone, I think God loves them, because God does not know how to do anything but love. And that's what God is about. And He doesn't love the way we love. We love someone. We think that He loves someone because they're saved more than someone that's not saved. I don't believe that at all. I believe that people that are saved, He can use them and have them do His work for Him. You can glorify God more. You give Him the grace, and He can use you for certain missions. But I'm not trying to put them down. I just we got to be very, honest about what we're dealing with. Because the reason the world's in such bad shape is because of the hybrids, and because of the Illuminati. The fallen angels are running the world, and the hybrids are being used. They're being lied to. They're being told that God hates them and they're doomed. They know more about God than you and me do, probably. Because they're in the other dimension. If I was born a hybrid and my daddy was a fallen angel, I guarantee you I would know more about God. They're going to get knowledge from the fallen angels. They're going to hear about the battles in heaven. They're going to have direct, even though I'm sure they lied to him about a lot of this stuff, They have to lie to him because they need them. They need the hybrids. Like we need water and oxygen. They need the hybrids to get their agenda going, or their agenda isn't going to be going. You cannot get enough people to follow that kind of a system. People won't do it. People are greedy for money, and they would do so much. But it would take a really low life sellout, the worm of the worm, to sell people out for money. So you would have to have something that had a reason, and that's where the hybrids come in. Now that being said, I stick with my original statement that we can't go on a witch hunt, but we just got to know what we're dealing with. They are, you know, because they can't love, they are more dangerous than humans. Humans are bad as it is, but you know, that being said too, you know, there could be a lot of good hybrids out there that, you know, shouldn't be judged with everyone else, and that's what I'll leave it at that. But yes, I have to say that most of the damage being done is because of the hybrids carrying out the agenda. I mean, they're driving cars, they're working around the clock, they're all over the place, and they're just working to bring in the one world order is what they're working for. Now most of them on our level are doctors and police officers and counselors, and they're like set up in those positions because when the shit hits the fan, who's going to be the ones we rely on? The police, the doctors. Exactly. See, if I wanted to rule you, I wouldn't take you over with a bomb or a gun. I would just be an actor and come into your organization and charm you. That's what I would do. That's exactly how you do it. That's exactly what they're doing. See, they don't have to beat us with guns. They just, all they do is come in acting, and you know, and that's how they took us over in the beginning, and you know, 60, 70 years ago, and now they're on our level. They're not only high up in the government, they're down on our level now. And well, I've dealt with one, and I'll just tell you, she told me a story that when she was a kid, aliens would come in a room at night, and she found herself floating up above her bed, and she would freak out and start screaming, trying to grab the bed, you know, but she couldn't feel it. She's, you know, on her back, floating up above the bed, and then her housekeeper like put some kind of weird symbol underneath her bed to try to protect her. But I got a feeling that she was, I mean, I really got a feeling that my girlfriend was killed and replaced with the reptilian hybrid. I really do. I mean, I have no evidence on that, but because she acted different last time I saw her, and when I got that strange footage of her face, that was, you know, that really started all this up. She really had no memory of me. I would ask her things and she would never reply. So she seemed like she was a different person, but I could be wrong. But yeah, we found this really weird, like, frog looking thing one time. It was about that big. It was crawling toward her garage in 1995, and I stepped on it and it started hissing at us, and she was like poking it with a stick, and all the ants were on it, eating it up, because we came back outside hours later and ants were all over it. And they're pulling this frog looking bird thing, they're pulling this thing into like the you know, those cement blocks where you lift them up and you can read the water heater or the electric meter or whatever. The water heater, you know those cement blocks. What the ants were like pulling this thing into the crack of one of those cement blocks. It was like they were like pulling this thing into the ground, like trying to cover up the evidence. The ants, they were eating this thing up, and it was kicking its feet. It had like claws on its feet, and it was like throwing rocks at me and her. I know it sounds crazy, but it was hissing at us, and I won't never forget that hissing. It was like, looked like a little frog thing with like a little alien head, and it had thick frog legs, and it had like claws on its feet, like hands on its feet.